Hey everyone, jennabugger here, and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. This is, I believe I'm going to call it Gardening Vampire House? Yeah, I think something like that. Um, anyways, it's a vampire house, and it started off as just trying to do a typical vampire house. I obviously used a lot from the vampire game pack. I wanted the outside to just be really dark with pops of this dark red. Um, so that's, kind of how I wanted the outside to look. I did get some inspiration looking on the internet for, I don't even remember what I looked for. Maybe like Halloween houses? I can't even remember, but I did find it online, some inspiration. So this roof, I have issues with roofs. I think I mentioned that in my last video. It's, I feel like sometimes I should cut it out, but also I feel like I have issues with it, so somebody else might appreciate seeing my process to kind of maybe that'll help someone else. I don't know, maybe. But I did change that front steeple part. I think you'll see it in the screenshots. It's kind of hard to explain. It more Victorian. It looks more Victorian the way I ended up doing it, but it was very after the fact. So, and I did a lot of finagling to try to make it work. So I just kept it out. This marble for right here, I really liked how it looked. So I went with that. And here I'm doing some more stuff with, I say all the time. Maybe I'll get better. But yep, and there I go. Okay. So yeah, just trying to work out the roof. I will give you a warning. I am all over the place with this build as well. I need to try and kind of work on one thing at a time. You'll see that I kind of go back and forth. Like, I completely, later on, I forget to, because typically, you want to try to work on the inside of the house before you go and do the outside, or maybe, work on the outside first and then go on the inside. But no, I do, most of the inside and completely forgot about the most important room, where the coffin is for the vampire, and I almost forgot about it, but I'll point that out later. Anyway, so here we are, going on the inside. So last year what I did a lot with houses is I would look up floor plans to really help, because I don't feel like I'm very strong in, well, let's be honest, I don't feel like I'm very strong in building on The Sims in general. But definitely floor plans and landscape is the two things, and roofs. Okay, three things that I probably have the most difficulties with. So I believe not so much the first floor, but definitely the second floor. I believe I just cut out trying to figure out the floor plan because it was a mess. And that is my phone going off. If you can hear that, I apologize. It is spam. Always. I never get, important phone calls. It's just all spam. Telemarketers, remember the days when, they would only call your home phones, and then you thought like, oh, let me outsmart the system and just not have a home phone number. I'm just going to get rid of home phones and just have my cell phone. And then, nope, they catch on, and now they call our cell phones now. Yeah. Sorry if you're a telemarketer and that's how you make a living. Yeah, so, I believe I end up making the first floor even taller, because I think I did the mid-level, and then I really wanted to use that long chandelier, so I upped it even more, and that gave me space on the outside to actually use those pretty, I forget what they're called, the middle of the house. Yeah, I'm totally butchering this, but I was able to use it. And yeah, okay, I'm just gonna move on. Anyway, so right here is going to be a little greenhouse. At this point, I actually didn't know that I was planning on it being a gardening vampire. I really like, with like Victorian houses, the look of having an attached greenhouse to it. So to make it, kind of feel more like that, I just went ahead and put on the greenhouse anyways. But like I said, I didn't know just yet that I was gonna go that route for the vampire. And actually, that's how a lot of my builds are. I kind of have just a very general idea. Like this one was literally just, I want to make a vampire house. I want to be all like dark and gothic and Victorian and make a vampire house. And later on in the build, I was just like, you know what? that'd be something interesting. A vampire who, vampires are technically dead. Being obsessed with life and cultivating plant life and all that kind of stuff. I thought it'd be interesting. And then even further down, and I'll get to it, there's actually a reasoning behind it. So it's just the storyteller and me coming out in everything I do. Anyways, so at first I don't think I was really I was not into the this love seat from the vampire game pack, but then I remember these living chairs, and I was like, oh wait, I really do want to use those. So and then the wood is actually like brown, and the couch I had the wood was black, so yeah, you gotta have it match. Yeah, so, and then here I'm just making a little living area. I do not have I don't think I have a computer or TV in this house because I wanted it to feel very, kind of feel old and very much like Victorian. And so I decided not to have those in here. That was just kind of the feel I was going for it. The floor plan wasn't very, I guess, it was a little difficult to work around, and so it might look a little awkward, but I did what I could. I used to look at floor plans, but I feel like that's something that I do want to try and get better at, of, working out my own floor plans in the houses, because I really like it. A lot of the people that do speed builds, they work on the front of the house and get, that look, the look that they're going for, and then they just kind of do the floor plan inside, and I aspire to be like that. I want to do it like that. So and that's the whole reason I kind of started doing speed builds, is because I just decided that, what, I never did building in The Sims before The Sims 4, and I wanted to get better at it. So I need to keep pushing myself. I think at this point, the idea was forming to, have the vampire be interested in plants and stuff. I don't think it was fully formed just yet, but I was like, getting a little inkling of an idea, like, okay, maybe we could do that. Unfortunately, because of this layout, I was not able to fit a fireplace in like I would have liked to, at least not the vampire one. So I decided not to do it, but where that bookcase is, you could probably put a 2-wide fireplace and it would fit a lot better, but the vampire fireplace, I believe, is 3 wide, so it just didn't work out the way that I would like it, but hey, you know, you can download this and do whatever you want with it. Yeah, and then right here I felt the smaller one worked better, and I mean, vampires don't eat real food, so do we really need a huge dining room? No, I don't think so. And then I'm just moving up the windows on the first level because it really bugs me when they're like they're not lined up with the cabinets. So yeah, I did that. Of course, wanted to go for the older looking appliances because I wanted it to feel very, you know, Victorian and everything, and these, you know, are perfect. I do have some CC in my game that has recolors of those, but I don't use CC in my speed builds because honestly I feel like if I were to do that, I definitely need to be able to, you know, link everything, or, you know, tell you how to get there, and I don't keep track of my CC quite like that. I should probably do it to where I don't have CC in the game when I'm building, but I mean, I'm a little lazy sometimes and don't feel like doing that. I don't know. Does it bother you guys to see the CC in here when I'm going through stuff? Let me know down below. Maybe I can work on that. Maybe I'll put forth the effort if people, you know, find it distracting. Yeah, so, and then just, you know, starting to kind of do more of the decorating in this kitchen dining room area. Yeah, kind of, yeah. I lost my train of thought there for a minute. I mentioned it in my last video. It's a little different when you have to talk like just continuously for like, you know, 30 minutes or so. Like and guys, I tried to edit this video to make it shorter because the entire time I was thinking, you know, like, yeah, this is a long video to watch, but then also this is a long video to talk all the time through. And I tried my best to edit it down as much as possible with making it, you know, cohesive, and yeah, I did my best. And so yeah, of course, going through the rugs, I have to, you know, check everything and see how it looks up against things. It'd be nice to one day be able to vision it, you know, in my mind of how it would look instead of having to like test all of it out. But and then here I am starting to add more flowers because it's like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that, so let's you know, add some and flowers and plants and, you know, go with the theme here. Yep, and then that, you know, would have bugged me forever and ever, so I had to obviously fix that cabinet up top. And then I decided I wanted a plant that was a little more fuller on the table, and then over here I had to, you know, add some plant life on the coffee table because, you know, I'm all in at this point. You know, I've got the idea, and it's like, okay, let's do this. And then just, you know, trying to get things fit on there and everything. Yeah, and see, just a lot of trying to figure out what plants would look nice with the color scheme and everything, because, you know, I wanted the plants, but I also didn't want them to be like too bright, if that makes sense. I still wanted the colors to kind of match with the color scheme throughout the house. So oh, my daughter's talking now. Hi. Oh, okay. Apparently the iPad's not keeping her occupied anymore. Oops. Oh, yeah. I totally looked away, and now I'm like completely okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just bringing that marble out here in the greenhouse area. I put a flower arranging table, bench, whatever it's called, because I thought that this vampire, I think I imagine it to be a female vampire, and she not only likes plants, but she likes flower arranging as well. And so this greenhouse, I imagined, would have a lot of flowers that she grows, you know, tends to at nighttime, because she's a vampire, she can't go out during the day. Yeah, and then I'm just adding some decorative plants because it seemed very bare just to have the planter pots out here. I wanted to make it look more more like there's some life going on in here. So I do add some right here, some flower seed packs, and later on I think I might have edited it out because it was very much an afterthought, but I do add some of the seed packs that came with the vampire game pack. And then yep, we're on to the second floor, and right here I do realize that this gargoyle is up a little too high for the for me to place the archway, so I moved that down. Like I said, I did skip the layout because I just, it was all over the place, and probably a little hard to follow, so I just, you know, just edited that out, and you know, hopefully I get better at it, and you know, maybe I can leave it in the videos. But you know, it worked out for this one because it did end up being such a long video, and then to add the entire layout of the house would have just added quite a bit more time. So I think it worked out in the end. I really do love the wallpapers and the paint that came from the vampire game pack. I think it's you know, elegant but fun at the same time, you know. So anyways, I think at this point I did kind of have more of an idea, kind of solidifying my idea for who lives here. Like I said, it's a vampire that likes to garden. They're very into just life, like cultivating plant life, and this used to be their bedroom. They used to be very happy, you know, light colors and everything. But I think she, I imagine she got pregnant at one point, but for whatever reason she ended up losing the child. I don't know, maybe through miscarriage, or maybe when it was born it would have been a vampire child. And you'll actually see I put the grave out in the backyard, but and I do include the nursery for that. So that's kind of my idea. She, you know, suffered this loss, and she was so happy, you know, happy to be having a child and everything, but she suffered the loss. I was thinking it might have been due to maybe more of a miscarriage type of thing, and it might have had to do with her anatomy as a vampire, kind of like I don't know if any of you guys are into Twilight, how the women vampire can't have babies because like their organs are dead because they're technically dead. So maybe something like that. She, like, from a like complete miracle, or maybe she turned to a vampire when she was pregnant. I don't know, something like that. This is really turned quite morbid. I apologize, but I mean, Halloween. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so I was trying to do something a little different here on this end table, trying to I don't know, like a decorative placemat for like the pretty lotions and stuff, and I think it technically would work, but I could not stand that the foot of the stool was sticking out from the bottom of it, and then, you know, there's those perfumes and lotions that are on a tray already. So yeah, so anyways, we move on to, this is kind of it's a I don't, music slash chess, yeah. Yeah, so that's what this area is, because obviously if there's no you know, computer or TV, they got to do other things for fun. So we got the organ that came with the Vampire Game Pack, and then ever since reading, or oh, shh, baby, sorry. I don't know if it's actually in the books, but I know the Vampire series by Anne Rice, the Queen of the Damned movie. I know he played the violin or maybe the fiddle. I don't know when Lestat did. Can't remember if it's in the books, but so because of that, I always imagined like vampires to play violin. So I included it. And then we, you know, have a little chess corner. And of course I have to add some plants because that's just what I'm going with. Yeah, and I do change the color of that chess table to match everything else, because I don't know why I kept it like that for so long. Like, why wouldn't I just change it when yeah, right here, okay. Much better. I wasn't completely happy with the colors of the organ. It actually might be better just to have stuck with the black one, but I ended up just staying with that because I thought it matched the wallpaper, but you know, and then all for like symmetry there. So yeah, and then just adding some more plants right over here just to do something over here, because it was looking a little bare. Yeah, and then I move into the main bathroom, not the master bathroom, and this one I'm back with the darker tones and everything. Like I said, the master bedroom and bathroom would have been the vampire's room prior to, you know, that horrible incident. So I imagine nobody goes into that room anymore. Like, she's just kind of locked the door and nobody goes in there anymore, because it just reminds her of a time that was, you know, happier, and she just doesn't want to deal with that. Yeah, so, and this bathroom, like I said, is just a little more dark and kind of matches the rest of the house. And then I did use this. That is actually from the Get Famous expansion pack, but it matches this actually quite well. So I used that, and then just a little stool there to add, kind of fill some space. And then, of course, adding some more plants, because, you know, you can't have a room without the plants. And then I do end up using, what is it called? Radiator? But yeah, maybe, or is that from a car? I don't know. That's the only room I used it. I thought it looked nice, and honestly, I didn't feel like going throughout the rest of the house to add more. So, this room is actually for kind of like the house manager. I don't know. I imagine they have a human person that manages the household for them, because they can't be, you know, the vampire can't be up during the day to deal with things and everything. So imagine she has, you know, like a house manager type of person, not a thing, to you know, deal with that for her. And this person I imagine it to be female as well, but I mean, doesn't have to be. It's just what I imagine. She, is able to decorate her room any way that she wants to, and you've seen the rest of the house, so she wants it to be just really cheerful and bright and, just a lot more fun and lighthearted than the color scheme from the rest of the house. And so there's a lot of pink, and I decided that she was actually going to be really into knitting in her limited spare time. I mean, she's got to have something. There's no TV or computer, so she's got to have something to do. You can only watch the vampire play the piano so many times, But so, and then I just really wanted to use some of the decorative stuff from the nifty knitting pack. So, and I really like how the desk turned out. It's not gonna be functional. There's no space to, like, I don't know, use a journal or anything like that, but I kind of made it to where it was like her work in progress project area. I think I put the loom. I think it's called the loom. The loom. I ended up putting that in there, so kind of like that's a project that she's currently working on. Right in the middle, I moved that little book, which, how cute is that little book? Like, it's just with all the, the knitting needles and the yarn and scissors and, like, I don't know, I think it's so cute. So here I'm just, cluttering up the desk a little bit. Like I said, I feel like she has limited time because she is kind of taking care of the house all on her own. So, she just kind of leaves it there. She doesn't have time to put everything away when she's done. She just leaves it there. Nobody else, goes in that room. It's completely her room. So, and then she gets a little place to put, hats and coats. So this is the nursery, and I was so upset. I wanted to use the pink bassinet, but there was no wallpaper that really matched it that well, and so I decided not to. I just went with the the yellow gold color scheme like I did with the master bedroom, and I do like it. It's definitely more gender neutral. Not to say that you can't have a boy whose nursery is pink. Everybody do what they want to do, but this definitely kind of, the baby could have been whichever gender, but so and then I just made a little changing area, which I really like to do. I think I first saw this concept from Simlissy, so all credit goes to her, but it's something that I really do enjoy. And sometimes when I'm feeling a little more bold and not so scared by the debug menu, I'll pull out some of the diapers and do like a little stack of diapers. But I think you'll see in the screenshots I did have to switch the rocking chair and the bassinet because for some weird reason the sim was able to walk upstairs and sit in the rocking chair and rock, but when I was trying to move them, like I think I went to go use the bathroom or something to see how they maneuvered and everything, they couldn't move. So the chair's where the bassinet is and vice versa. And then I added some of those yarn toys. I imagine that the housekeeper, that's the word I was looking for earlier. I imagine the housekeeper has been with this vampire for a long time, and she was there during the tragedy, and when they were getting ready for the baby, she made some of those little toys. So Again, the nursery is like the master bedroom. It reminds the vampire of, you know, better times, and so she just kind of like locked the door, and nobody's allowed in there. It's just as is, you know, how the day that she locked it. That's just how it was. And then here I am doing the landscaping. Landscaping is something that I think I mentioned earlier that I feel I'm not so good at, and it does intimidate me a little bit. I think I do tend to get very symmetrical, which, I mean, it's landscaping. It shouldn't be so symmetrical. It's plants and everything, you know. But I'm trying my best. I do think I like how I ended up with the landscaping for the most part. I think I did a decent job, at least better than I, you know, have in the past. I used a lot of these vines because I just feel like it just gave the right aesthetic to the landscaping for the house. And then there, I didn't like the abrupt cutoff of the colors from the dirt versus the outside of the lot. So I switched it to where it was more gradual, and it, you know, flowed better in my opinion. I didn't do too much outside. There's not like any actual activities. I was considering making an actual garden, but I just feel like the vampire probably doesn't actually go outside at all, even if it's nighttime. Maybe the only time they go out is, I don't know, to get blood if they're plasma, if they need to, or maybe they just do the plasma fruit and, you know, just don't leave ever. But yeah, so I imagine they just don't go outside that much at all, if at all. So I decided not to add a garden out here, and there's not really any activities. There's just the little grave for the baby, which I do switch it later on to an actual vampire gravestone, because there's in the debug menu. I swear I wait till the last possible minute to pull up that debug menu because it does intimidate me so much. There's just so much there, and I don't know where everything is, and you know, my, you know, anxiety prone nature, it just like that's just a lot to deal with. So you know, I wait till the last possible minute, but there's a lot of good stuff in the debug menu too, so I can't just not use it, you know. So and then I am just finishing up. I felt it was a little empty on this side, so I was just adding some more foliage and stuff. And then, oh, yeah, I add just a little bit more back here, and I decided to make the house look, you know, really just old and like it's been there a while. Like I need to bring out some of this ivy that, you know, came with the vampire game pack. So I may have went overboard with it. I don't know. You guys can let me know. I do kind of like how it turned out though. It made it look for what I was going for. Like I said, I wanted to look more like it's been here. This house has been here for a long time, and I think the ivy achieved that. And I did a lot, like all the walls. They have ivy on them. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did remember the outside trash can. So at least I'm improving with that. I'm remembering to put that trash can, which that was a thing that I used to have such a hard time remembering to do until I was actually in game playing it, and then, you know, have to take the trash out, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't put that there. But yeah, so I'm just finishing up the ivy here. This is my, like, let me look at the overview, and that's when I remembered, like, oh yeah, like one of, like, arguably the most important rooms of an entire vampire house is where the coffin is, and I almost forgot to do it, but I'm doing that right here. I just wanted it to seem, you know, very much like a basement. I went with stone walls and stone floors, and just really made it just dark and kind of creepy-ish until, of course, I have to add plants because it's a gardening vampire. This is her sleeping area. She's gonna want it to be a little, personal. So, yeah, and then right here is where I add. I go with some bigger plants down here because I wasn't planning on doing much of anything else besides the coffin. So I went with some bigger plants to kind of help fill out the space a little bit. And here I kind of just did my own arrangement. I did size up a plant right here. I did yellow just to make it a little more bright. Yeah, and then right here, I was thinking of putting the vampire urn down there in her sleeping quarters, but then I remembered I had made the grave upstairs, so I just switched that out real quick. Adding some cracks in here to, make it look more old, and then I add the birth certificate for the baby. So here's the screenshots. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them down below. I hope you give it a like, and if you want to stick around, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.